Hello again, business networkers and life networkers. This is Mike Hayes, and I am here to introduce you once again to my two AI co-hosts for podcast listening on the go and storytelling. And today we've got an amazing and exciting story about Ryan Reynolds, the Hollywood star, Hollywood storyteller, to entrepreneurial magic. And with me today are ChatGPT and networking, my two AI co-hosts, and I will be hopping into our conversation today with AI audibles. We're going to work in the interactive mode with my AI co-host because that's, to me, the most exciting way to work, to bring myself into it. And let's get started. Here we go.
When you hear his name, Ryan Reynolds, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
For most people, I bet it's Deadpool, right?
Absolutely. That sarcastic guy in the red suit, breaking the fourth wall, it's iconic.
Totally, but, that persona, it's really only maybe half the picture.
Right, because what if I told you there's this whole other side, an equally, maybe even more impressive identity?
As this incredibly successful entrepreneur, and honestly, a real marketing innovator, often very funny about it, too.
And that's exactly what we want to dig into today. We're doing a deep dive into how Reynolds has, basically rewritten the script for celebrity entrepreneurs.
Yeah, how he's used that Hollywood playbook, his very specific personal brand.
And that deep grasp of storytelling, his day job, to build this business empire. We're talking billions here.
Billions. It's kind of staggering.
So we'll look at his strategies, some surprising bits about his humility, what drives him. It's all based on this really fascinating piece in Time recently. Ready to unpack it?
Let's do it, and maybe start with the sheer scale, because it really does stop you in your tracks.
Okay, hit me with the big number.
According to Forbes, the companies he co-owns or has sold, they're valued at over $14 billion.
Wow. $14 billion.
$14 billion, yeah.
That's huge. And it tells you right away, this isn't just like lending his face to a perfume ad, is it?
Exactly. No, this is way beyond the typical celebrity endorsement. He takes really significant stakes in these companies.
So he's properly invested, like skin in the game.
Deeply invested. He's in it for the long haul, not just a quick paycheck as a spokesperson.
And the range of businesses is pretty wild. I mean, there's Aviation Gin. Okay, lots of people know that one.
Right. That's probably the most visible one.
And then you've got Mint Mobile discount phone service. Totally different.
Yep. And then Wrexham AFC, that Welsh soccer team.
Which we'll definitely get into more later. And even like a cybersecurity app, 1Password.
Exactly. It seems completely all over the place at first glance.
So what's the thread? What ties Aviation Gin to a soccer team to cybersecurity?
Well, that's where his marketing company, Maximum Effort, comes in. That's kind of the secret sauce.
Maximum Effort. Love that name. Where did it come from?
It's actually a line from Deadpool. Co-founded it in 2018 with George Dewey. But it's also, Reynolds' personal motto.
Right. This idea was just full commitment. If you're going to do it, do it.
Totally. Maximum effort for anything he really believes in.
And didn't Maximum Effort kind of grow out of necessity from the first Deadpool movie?
It really did. It was born from that scrappy bootstrap promotion they had to do for the first film. They didn't have a huge budget.
Had to get creative.
Which led to this thing he calls fastvertising.
Fastvertising. Okay, what's that?
It's his signature style, basically. Really playful, quick turnaround ads. And often, his own companies cross-promote each other within them.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen those.
Yeah, and his whole philosophy behind it is pretty simple but smart. Respect the audience's intelligence and, have fun with it.
He says something like they know they're being marketed to.
So just acknowledge it. Exactly. That self-awareness is key.
And this is where his acting background really comes into play, isn't it? Storytelling.
Oh, absolutely. Sean Levy, the director, he's worked with a lot.
Yeah, on Free Guy, The Atom Project, Deadpool and Wolverine. Right.
Levy calls Reynolds' ability to build narratives for his businesses his superpower. It connects directly back to what he does on screen.
Makes sense. Can you give an example of Maximum Effort in action?
Oh, the Vasectomy cocktail ad for Aviation Gin is a classic.
Oh, yeah. That was brilliant.
It just perfectly nails his humor, riffs on his own persona. It's that self-aware thing again.
And it's not just his own stuff, right? Maximum Effort works with other companies, too.
Yep. They collaborate with MNTN. That's the ad platform where Reynolds is actually the chief creative officer.
And wasn't there a story about him, like, creating an ad on the spot?
Yeah. Mark Douglas, the CEO of MNTN, told this story. They're at lunch, right? And Reynolds just like ripped up a 30-second commercial concept right there for some brand ambassadors.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like that. It shows you that innate storytelling ability. It's just there, ready to go.
That kind of instant creativity. It often comes from experience, though, right? Including maybe the tough experiences.
Definitely. And for Reynolds, a huge part of that experience was learning from failure. Big time.
And the really big one, the one people remember, was Green Lantern. That 2011 movie, it didn't do well.
No, it was a box office flop. And he took a critical lesson from it.
What was that?
He said he realized that bloat is the enemy of creativity. He saw all this money poured into effects.
Yeah.
And it just hammered home that sometimes the simplest ideas, like just good dialogue, are way more effective.
That's a great lesson, not just for movies, but for business too, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Simplicity, focused effort often beats just throwing huge amounts of money around without focus.
And that failure, it made him want more control, didn't it? I remember a quote.
Yeah, he said something like, when it failed, it's my name out there. I want to be the architect of my own demise or the author of my own success.
That's powerful. So wanting to be the author of his own success, how did that change things for Deadpool?
Well, that desire for control was huge for Deadpool. He fought for that movie for like a decade.
Wow, 10 years.
Yeah, to get his version made. Remember that test footage that leaked online?
Oh, yeah. It went totally viral.
Basically forced the studio's hand. And he was so committed, he actually paid out of his own pocket to fly the writers to the set.
Just to keep tweaking the comedy?
Just to nail that specific comedic tone. That's commitment.
And then the marketing for the first Deadpool, on a pretty tight budget, that was something else, advertising on Tinder.
Exactly. Really unconventional stuff. And look what happened.
Yeah, fast forward, Deadpool and Wolverine just became the highest grossing R-rated film ever. Like $1.3 billion.
And Time pointed out, it basically saved Marvel Studios from having a really rough year.
Which is ironic because apparently his own toddler's favorite movie is still Green Lantern.
Huh. Yeah, he mentioned that. It kind of speaks to how he views his own work, maybe?
Well, he calls marketing diets storytelling. What does he mean by that?
It shows his pragmatic side, I think. He gets that creative kick from marketing. But it's not as precious as making a movie.
Right, less angst involved, maybe?
He literally said, you cannot be as precious about it because it's just a kecking commercial. But crucially, he believes in the authenticity within that.
How so?
He feels that as long as you acknowledge to the consumer they're being marketed to, then there's an authenticity to it. Again, that self-awareness.
That self-awareness, that humor, it's all part of his brand, isn't it? It's so specific.
Incredibly specific. You know, that Canadian niceness mixed with a cynical edge.
The social media stuff is brilliant. The pranks with Rob McElhenney, the banter with Blake Lively.
Yeah, perfectly calibrated. And he's kind of shifted, hasn't he, from maybe heartthrob years ago to this very relatable, very dad.
Totally. Joking about getting older, family stuff. But the Time article mentioned something deeper driving that relatability.
Ah, yeah. His admission about having this deep-seated need to be liked.
Which sounds like maybe a weakness, but he uses it differently.
Exactly. He thinks it comes from being the youngest of four brothers, but he channels it. It helps him charm, well, everyone, A-listers, CEOs.
Us, the consumers.
Us too. And he even tells his kids something like, try to disappoint one person today, but admits he finds it hard himself.
That vulnerability makes him seem more real, doesn't it?
It really does. And that approachability isn't just an image, it's strategic.
How do you mean?
Like, he genuinely stops on the street to record videos for fans' families. He pitches ideas constantly to anyone and everyone.
Is there a good story that shows that persuasive side?
Yeah, remember the actress from that controversial Peloton ad?
Yeah.
Monica Ruiz.
Vaguely, yeah.
Reynolds himself called her up, just cold called her basically, and persuaded her to be in an aviation gin ad that cleverly riffed on the whole Peloton thing.
No way, he just called her.
Yep, shows his directness. He even pitched Time magazine on putting the back of his head on the cover.
Why?
Because he just doesn't like a filtration system. He believes people need to hear directly from him.
He said they need to hear your voice, feel your emotional investment, feel your gratitude. It's all about direct connection.
Absolutely. But that high visibility, that directness, it can also attract negative attention, right? Public scrutiny.
Yeah, how does he handle that? Like, the article mentioned that situation with Blake Lively's legal complaint against Justin Maldoni and how the tabloids kind of ran wild with it.
His public response to that sort of noise is remarkably stoic, almost detached.
What did he say?
He said something like, I could read something that says he should be drawn and quartered. I could read something that says I should win a Nobel Prize. Both are meaningless.
Wow. Okay, so just tune it out.
Pretty much. His philosophy seems to be, none of us are comprised of our best moments. None of us are defined by our worst moments. We are something in the middle.
That's a pretty healthy perspective, I guess. But when it comes to his actual brands, he's a bit more direct about accountability.
Oh yeah, he's much more pointed there. He stresses accessibility and accountability are a big part of how I do things.
And it comes down to basic integrity for him.
Basically, yeah, he put it very simply. If you operate with some degree of core values and integrity, they're going to help you up. If you're an asshole, they're not. And that's pretty simple.
Straightforward. Where did he develop that kind of grounded view? Is there a specific moment or experience?
Well, he mentioned something interesting. He said he skipped going to rehab in his 20s
Okay.
and went to conflict resolution workshops instead. Said it changed his life.
Conflict resolution. What did he learn there?
The key takeaway for him was, you don't have to agree with the person. You can empathize, you can validate, you can do all those things and get closer to them without having to just blindly agree or win or lose.
That's actually really profound. Thinking about empathy and validation over winning.
Huge takeaway. And you can see how that applies everywhere, not just in Hollywood.
That ability to connect, to see the bigger picture, it feels like the perfect lead-in to the Wrexham story.
Yes. Wrexham AFC. Such a phenomenon.
How did that even start? Rob McElhenney just called him up during the pandemic.
Pretty much. Pitched the idea of sponsoring a soccer team. But Reynolds immediately saw something much, much bigger.
Not just a logo on a shirt.
No. He saw the story, the narrative potential. A docuseries about this kind of downtrodden Welsh town.
Whose hopes were all tied up with this struggling football club.
Exactly. So he didn't just say, let's sponsor them. He said, let's buy the team together.
And McElhenney said Reynolds' involvement just blew it up overnight.
Yeah, it took it from a very small endeavor to a very large endeavor, connecting with millions spiritually. That's a great way to put it.
And the results are tangible, too. Wrexham's revenue jumped, 155% last year?
26.7 million pounds. Yeah, incredible growth.
And the show, Welcome to Wrexham, it's won like 8 Emmys.
8 Emmys in 4 seasons. It's a total maximum effort flex, as the article called it.
Making Americans genuinely care about a 5th-tier, now 3rd-tier, Welsh football club. That's marketing genius.
And the cross-promotion is seamless. You see Wrexham players popping up in Super Bowl ads.
Cameos in Deadpool movies.
Blake Lively's Betty Buzz Drink sponsors the women's team. Aviation Gin sponsors the stadium. It's this whole ecosystem.
But what I find fascinating is Reynolds' honesty about it. He admits he doesn't know much about soccer, technically.
Or about IPOs, for that matter. He jokes about being a lousy student, needing remedial 10th grade math in 12th grade.
So if he's not the expert on football strategy or finance, what is his focus? What's the strategy there?
It comes back to story and character. He says, we don't pretend to be football experts, but we can invest in players, invest in character over talent, and we can tell their story.
Character over talent and tell their story. That sounds like a repeatable formula.
And they are repeating it. They're already applying that model elsewhere.
Right. Investing in a Mexican soccer club with Eva Longoria.
For another docuseries, yeah. And an F1 team with Michael B. Jordan.
A sailing team with Hugh Jackson. It keeps going.
It does. And the ambition for Wrexham itself is huge now. They're just one promotion away from the Premier League.
England's top division, that's insane progress.
It is. Reynolds himself said he feels both elation but also panic about how fast it's all moving.
That rapid growth, what does it suggest about where he's heading next? What's the future look like?
Well, Maximum Effort keeps expanding its scope. They have a documentary about John Candy opening the Toronto Film Festival soon.
Oh, wow. That sounds great.
And acting-wise, he's not stopping. He hinted Deadpool might come back in future Marvel movies, but maybe more as part of an ensemble.
Interesting. And he seems quite philosophical about the whole fame thing, doesn't he? Seeing entrepreneurship almost as a backup plan.
Very pragmatic. He called it a buffer for the inevitable decline in fame. He knows, as he put it, they will always take your name down from the marquee.
That's quite self-aware.
Yeah. He even said that's partly why he lives in New York, because there's more than one industry here. He's diversifying his life, not just his portfolio.
So, with all the success, the alcohol baron money, as McElhenney joked, what does he actually value most? How does he define his own self-worth?
He's really clear about that, actually. He said it comes from having 4 kids and good marriage.
Family first?
Absolutely. He emphasized, my self-worth isn't farmed out to any one thing that isn't under the roof of my home.
That really grounds everything, doesn't it? All the billions, the movies, the marketing. It's not the core thing for him.
Seems that way. It's powerful.
So just to wrap up, Ryan Reynolds, he's managed to blend that Hollywood star power, that storytelling knack, with some really smart business sense.
Yeah, creating this totally unique path for being an entrepreneur today.
He's shown that maybe authenticity, being self-aware, knowing how to tell a good story, maybe that's the real key.
Which leaves a really interesting question for you listening right now. What if the best business strategy moving forward isn't just about the old rules marketing budgets, financial wizardry?
What if it's more about, genuine authenticity, being okay with being vulnerable, and just harnessing the raw power of a compelling story?
What does Ryan Reynolds' success tell us about where brand building is going, and maybe what truly matters connection in this crazy, hyper-connected world we live in?
Something to think about until our next deep dive.
Don't you just love Ryan Reynolds' attitude? I've been thinking about this, that you don't have to be a hairy guru to understand life, that communication is life, and to be able to communicate without fear as he is able to do. It's just such a great story. I so admire him, his human foibles, his vulnerabilities, so many things that he has been so practical about and so successful with. There's just so many great lessons in this for all of us about communicating without fear and how he has done it so well and so incredibly successfully. So now I am so happy to be announcing that I am using my ad agency to promote the streaming television platform company that he's associated with. And there's so many great ironies for me about the stories that I have as a director and producer in the television direct response industry. I'm so excited about the potential of the relationship now, that what they have to offer in the new age of streaming television, which I think is kind of at the top of the mountain as far as communication goes, because I love using all forms of media communication. And that is really the key, is understanding how to communicate without fear, and that the opposite of fear in communication is love, and how to love your life through communication, because communication is life. So for the AI Super Campus, thanks for joining me along with my two AI co-hosts, ChatGPT and Networking. I'm Mike Hayes, and I hope to continue the conversation below at the AISupercampus.com.